All right, guys. Welcome to Texas Gulf Surfer, episode number 26.
Man, is it episode 26? Man,
26.
wow, welcome everybody. My name is Jeff Dinacola, your Texas Surf Ambassador, man. How about that? Man, this show, Texas Gulf Surfer, all about you guys out there, man, you surfer people. Man, before we get started, man, let me introduce my co-host. I love this. He is cooler than the other side of your pillow. Let's give it up for Austin Campbell, King of
Right
Surfside.
on. Thanks, Jeff.
What's up, brother?
All right, man.
We got some stuff to talk about.
We do, man.
Considering there's no waves, we got a few things we can talk about. It's kind of cool.
There has been there was some surf. We talked about that, and then there hasn't been any surf, but there was a contest.
Isn't that weird? There was a surfing contest in Surfside this weekend with no surf, but it went off flawlessly. It
Yeah.
was all kids. I would say the oldest competitor was maybe 12.
Right.
And little kids in all ages, they came out. It was a free event put on by Texas Surf Camps, TGSA, with help from Surf Station, who donated boards and support for that event. And man, it was really cool. Those kids had a great time, and they actually on waves this big. Am I lying, Austin?
Man, there was really no whitewater, right? It wasn't like it actually the wave broke. But man, they were riding them. Yeah, it was
so
great. I was out there early in the morning helping. Brought some boards out and talked to a couple of the competitors and stuff like that. So it looked like they had a good time. And
Yeah,
then
they did.
I'd say it lasted for most of the day. Went until about 2-3 o'clock.
And they made the best out of a situation where there wasn't a lot of waves. We did relay races and paddle races. The parents pitched in and helped, man. It was really a cool event, man. Crystal Roth, Matt Roth, and Claire were there. They helped us pull it off. And, God, there was a lot of people there. Jordan Isabel from Galveston and her husband, family came over and helped us run it. So thank you guys to them. And the city of Surfside, John Gerber came out from the city. Gave us the thumbs up.
Pretty good event. They had everything, and I would say, I watched them put out the buoy.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And so they did the paddle races around that.
They did,
and we paddled a couple kids around that one time, and just them paddling against each other. I think just a lot of the main purpose of that event really is to get the kids who have never competed.
Yeah.
And some of them are new to surfing.
Yeah.
Get them kind of what it's like to be in a contest.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail head. They get to come out and put the little jersey on, and we kind of walk them through how a real surfing contest works, and they get little medals and trophies in the end. They were all tickle pink. It was really warmed my heart to see John Jones, fresh off of knee replacement surgery, came down with Kelly Daughtery from the Surf Museum and judged. And, man, for you guys, John Jones, man, he is our chief. He is doing good. He is healing. He will be back on his longboard soon, I would say.
Man, yeah.
They
They
did
have the Texas Surf Museum was out there.
Good to see my brother,
Right?
John.
They had they were promoting their
Karen McKay.
Yeah, they were. I think they had some shirts and stuff out there you could
They
get,
did.
and then they were promoting their what their event they're going to have, right?
Yeah, you're right. Karen McKay was out there with Kelly, and we mentioned it last episode, but this is it. And you can see and get this flyer at Surf Station. You can also go on the Texas Surf Museum website. This is cool. This is the first annual Fall Gala, and this is all about you ladies. So, man, come on out and represent, man. This is the Texas International Surfing, I'm sorry, the Women's International Surfing Association. I love the flyer, man. I love the logo with the gal surfing here.
Yeah, they're gonna, and I think they're gonna be selling. It sounds like maybe they're gonna have some board raffle or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
having raffles, free parking for the first 50 guests.
Yeah.
So this is a cool event. Now, this is coming up October 25th.
We may
2 a.m. to 2 p.m.
There might be maybe a rumor that maybe we might be working on a board for them.
Yeah. It's Austin's birthday, so we were going to maybe thinking about doing a podcast there, but who knows? It's not going to happen because it's his birthday. It's the birthday boy on the 26th of October. So y'all will send him a gift, man.
Yeah, but it's going to be a good time. So the contest, like I said, they were out there at the contest, and we had a bunch of quite a few kids out there that were first time competitors, right? And they were going to get out there, and then they had some of the other kids that have been doing it for a little while were out there kind of really helping out. You know, I would say you could tell that the kids that have been doing it for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, you can tell.
They were really helping out the ones that just started, and kind of, being mentors out there to them. So it was it was good to see. We had a couple come by, talking about boards and stuff. So that's what
good,
they were kind of asking about, what what kind of board they need to start off with contest wise, and then some of them were progression. So I think we're going to talk a
Yep.
little bit about that later, about
Yeah.
progression on your boards and stuff like that. So
Yeah, because we were kind of discussing that. We're coming out of summer, and a lot of people want soft tops, and some interesting thing that we're going to talk about here pretty quickly. But yeah, that event's going to be cool. And again, that's October 25th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So man, that's going to be tons of fun. And ladies, come out, represent, bring your husbands, and that kind of thing, boyfriends, and it's going to be just a big social event.
yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. I was talking to them about it. So
Yeah,
we
man.
should have-
Surfside Scotty came by.
yeah.
The you know
Surfside
cheer on
Scotty,
cheer on
yeah.
all of the kids. Want to thank Morgan Faulkner out of Port Aransas, Texas. Everybody knows Morgan. He donated $500 for the trophies and the medals and different stuff for these kids to come down here, and it was impactful on the city of Surfside, and I think that's important too.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a group, anytime you have any event in a small area like this,
Yeah.
Just some of the restaurants, the stores, the shops, they're all gonna, people are gonna stop and do stuff, and people are gonna stay. A lot of times, people stay overnight or even the whole weekend. So it's good to have some
Yeah.
events down here. The more we have, is better.
Yeah, up and down the coast is kind of a bah humbug. Man, we called around. No one wants to talk about surfing until it starts to happen again. But tell me about our forecast while we were on that topic.
It's not far
How
off,
long more,
man.
how much longer do I have to wait? I feel like I'm waiting now for the Tooth Fairy.
Man, it's just around the corner.
Okay, I believe you.
I mean, you could go ahead and put something underneath.
You're my
you
guru
go
of
ahead and
surf,
Put
man.
something underneath your pillow. I think. It's
So tell me.
from everything we've been seeing for the past I don't know week or so, and it's
Okay.
kind of holding. It's gotten a little smaller, but they're saying, starting Wednesday through maybe Saturday, we're gonna have a little swell enough to
Enough to
surf
push
on.
along
Yeah.
a surfboard.
Yeah, it's nothing. I don't think it's gonna be great. I think the wind's gonna pick up and blow out of the southeast, maybe 15 to 20 here and there.
Right.
And if we can get enough southeast wind,
I'll
we'll get a
take
little
it.
something. But I mean, the long-term forecast looks good. I mean, we're looking in as soon as we start getting into September. I mean,
Right.
it's gonna pick up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. So
I completely agree with you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't you just feel like we're this close to being into
It
the
is.
more consistent time of year where
And look-
you can kind of plan your week around actually riding waves?
and I know we were talking about wetsuits already, but we're definitely 3 months. We're still 3 months away from wetsuits. So enjoy that.
you're right.
Enjoy that September, October, November, where you're just
Well, that's 3 months for you guys, but for me, it's probably 2.5 months.
yeah.
I
well,
like
you got
cold
one of those
weather.
good tops, man.
Man,
You can-
we're going to talk about some couple of cool things, man. Florida was on fire. There was more than just a few Texans that went. Some I knew, some I did not. I kept looking at posts. A bunch of people went to Florida, man. And
Yeah, the pictures were pretty nice, man. I saw a bunch of pictures in. I've been busy I've been busy working, but I saw a bunch of pictures, and it was.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, I wish I could have just taken off
so,
down there.
yeah, Brian Dudley, the commish, man. I'm going to read something
No,
here.
he said no dings too, so they didn't have to get them fixed.
No
there.
broken boards,
No
but
broken
he
boards.
went with Scott Canna, hope I pronounced that right, Carlos Medina, Dan Beeman, and a whole group of guys. And I think I heard Misha went.
Yeah,
And just a bunch of people. Every time I'd go to Facebook or something, I'd look, there's more Texans going to Florida. I think that was pretty
Yeah.
easy and a no-brainer thing to predict. If you got to the East Coast, you were going to do some serious
well, I mean,
good
the
surfing.
way the hurricane was forecast is it was coming straight for Florida, right? And then
Yeah.
it was going to do the normal. Hurricanes normally take that hook up, to the northeast or whatever. So
Yeah.
and it just before it got any close to land, it just took that hook. So all it's doing is pushing waves straight in, going out, and then you got offshore winds or no wind probably.
And
so
plenty of seconds between the sets where you can get out. I just love the way that is. And
it sets up real nice there because it doesn't get
Yeah, we blew it.
It doesn't get real choppy in between.
man, Johnny Rescue McGee, man, we blew it. We should have went on that trip, man. Because here's right from
should have went.
from the commission's mouth. He said. He says, we scored more than we expected. First day ahead high, second day it was overhead about a foot. Wednesday, day 3 of the swell, well overhead. Thursday overhead. I love this. Dreamy perfection with light offshore winds at about 7 miles an hour. Friday morning, same. It dropped a little bit to head high.
Did you ask him?
Oh, it dropped a little bit to head high. Boo-hoo. What a bummer, man, for you guys. But, man,
rough
they
life.
just absolutely tore it up. Sandbars were on fire. No broken boards. No broken bones. kudos to you Texans that made the trip, man. That's all I can say, man. It's awesome.
I mean, that sounds like, a 4 to 5 swirly top day right there, man.
Golly, easy, man. That's you know, like I always like to say, man. Texans travel well, man. We show up, we're wave hungry, we'll take anything, and we'll put ourselves into some situations and get a pit. Guaranteed that.
Yeah, I mean, you go somewhere, and look, it's bigger, it's stronger, and somebody's got to have to deal with that. But when you have the distance between the waves, you know what I'm saying? You have a good. It's not like that here a lot of times, right? So
No, it's not.
So we're used to, you get sometimes here you get, if you get 6-8 foot here, unless it's just like the day after a hurricane, like the downswell, and it's
wave
perfect.
after wave.
Man, it's, you fall here and you got to paddle into the washing machine.
Yep,
so I think
100%.
that when you get a long period between sets and between swells,
Such a blessing.
it kind of makes it. It doesn't make it easier, but it makes it a little easier for people who are used to getting pounded.
Oh, dude, I
while they're
can't
going
tell you
out
how
all
many
the time.
times I paddle out here on a big day or a choppy day. I'm exhausted when I get out there. Then I get to regroup and down
Yeah,
surf.
I mean,
kind of the way it is.
it makes a difference when there's no you don't have a long period between the waves. I mean, I've said it 100 times. A friend of mine, I can't even remember who said it, man, but the guy I know, he said, Texas might not have the biggest and the best waves,
I love
but we
that.
have the most waves.
It is so true.
And that is
man.
true. So,
And sometimes you got to paddle through about 100 of them just to
Man.
get to the outside to catch your one wave.
that's kind of why I don't even ride a shortboard anymore, man, because I get tired of duck diving, man. I feel like I have a pretty good method of paddling out on a longboard where I don't have to duck dive a bunch, and I just get tired of it. So, but anyways, that's a whole nother show.
Some people, duck dive. I tanker crash. My board, I just crash into the whitewater, get beat back, take my licking, and keep going. That's all I can do. But, man, it's funny because we're talking about coming out of the summer and going into the winter. And Austin had a great observation as people were coming into the shop over the weekend and stuff about. And it's funny because I never thought about this. He went back and said, people are starting to buy boards that have progressed from COVID. And
So like the time, yeah, I mean,
that's
so I mean,
cool.
look, the time when when that first started, right?
Right.
There's nothing.
It's
You
interesting.
couldn't do anything except for go outside, and there was a ton of people we gave surf lessons to, and that
Right.
came to the beach and wanted to surf because they didn't have anything else to do, and so they were new
Right.
to it. Maybe they saw it on TV. They just had an idea. Maybe they Googled what to do outside at the beach. Whatever it was, people were starting to surf more. And a lot of those people, because it was trendy, bought soft tops.
Right.
Soft tops is great. They have their place. We sell plenty of them. We use them for lessons. They are a little trendy as far as some of the way they do advertising and stuff, right? So people are learning to surf. They don't want to get hit by a hard board, and they bought soft tops. But here we are 5 years later, and some people gave up, but a lot of people, what I've noticed, it's just all of a sudden is I'm having a lot of people ask me, hey, I've been riding a soft top for a few years, and I don't know. A lot of times they don't think they're that good, right? That's the first thing they say. Well, I'm not that good. And I ask, sometimes I ask them what they're riding. They tell me a soft top, or they say I'm riding a soft top. And the first thing I think is, well, that soft top might be hindering your progression, right? Right? Because that's
Yeah.
the way they ride. So, and then I'm having people come in and ask me, man, and they're kind of noticing that. They're like, oh, I'm catching waves. I can paddle out. I'm doing all this on a soft top.
Yeah, time to move up.
And they want to know what board they should get. And so I always ask them what they're riding, what they want to ride, what their plan is. But I would say we always tell people a 9-foot longboard or 9.6, depending on their size, But you're also having kids, right? In the contest, like we had, similar situation where you have kids in the contest that are new to it. Maybe they're wanting to surf the contest, or maybe they're wanting to know what to ride. And so we're having the same conversation. So I think a good thing to talk about would be, what board to ride when, right? So, and when as far as like in your progression of surfing, right? Because not everybody's the same. But I would say, what I tell people, a general thing is, if you started on a longboard and you're paddling out yourself and you can sit on the board like a surfer and wait for a wave and turn the board around and catch a wave, and ride the wave and maybe go down the line a little bit, and you're having trouble turning, you need to get off the soft top because
Definitely.
they don't turn.
They do not turn.
I like
I learned that the hard way.
One of the analogies I use is I'm like, a good surfer can't have fun on a soft top unless they're like
Unless you're Ben Gravy or
right,
somebody like
surfing it
that,
in,
or
like, on,
Jamie O'Brien,
right, and
they
they're
seem to be able
surfing
to do
them.
it.
Well, they're surfing them in pipeline.
That's true.
It's different.
Yeah.
So a good surfer is not going to have fun on certain longboards. There are some longboards, that they can. There are
Right.
some soft tops that you can. Some that are built a little better, right? But in general, a lot of them, the really foamy ones that are really thick rails that have 3 fins,
It's true.
they don't turn, right? So that's the first thing I tell them.
It is.
Right? Get off
that.
and then
Get to a glass.
get to a glass board
Yeah.
with a single fin. I've found that especially people who are new to surfing, or who aren't, maybe their paddling's not so good and they're still learning to get better at surfing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't need side bites. All they're doing is causing drag, right? So all those side bites are doing is causing drag. Get a single fin, long board. Now you're catching waves. Now you're going to start turning right and left. Right?
You're so right, man. Just today, Ben Raina, and thank you, Ben Raina, for taking me tanker surfing. It was awesome. He was telling me that about fins. He goes, I don't care what. Anything you put in the water, whether there's little fin or big fin, it's drag. I never, for some reason, never looked at it like that.
Yeah, and so the big fin, it gives you a little more drive. That big center fin gives you a little more drive, but those 2 side bites, they're just causing drag, right? I mean, so it's now there's purpose to them once you're got speed and you're surfing.
Right.
But right at that point in time, I tell people, so, a lot of those surfers right there, I'm telling, that are people who are getting, maybe they don't know they're getting better. They're long, maybe their soft tops hindering their progression.
Mm-hmm.
Get them on a fiberglass board, long board. If they don't want, some people don't want to ride a long board. So you try to push them to a 9 foot, but if they don't want to, maybe an 8.
Isn't a 9 foot longboard?
Yeah, you're trying to push them to that long
Right.
board. But if they don't, you can go maybe 8 foot. But I would say everybody.
But don't you steer most beginners to a longboard? They're just easier
Yeah.
to ride, easier to paddle, easier for beginners.
For sure. I mean, and then I would say like the kids who are looking at like the, to surf in the contest. I think that you got to look at what age they are,
Right.
and then what they're trying to do. So a lot of it's just having float on the board, right?
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is we're seeing a lot of people coming in, either new to surfing, a few years ago, getting better, or maybe they're looking at like the surf season's coming up, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. What you said about COVID, because during COVID, a lot of people bought RVs and campers and boats and things, and people were stuck.
All that stuff was for sale.
Yeah, after it ended,
But I would say a lot of people
caught the surfing bug.
Yeah, and I just happened to see that the surf station opened
interesting.
at the end of 2020. So
That's right.
I kind of saw it while it was happening. Right, we were
uh-huh.
here, and there's been a lot of people that they were pretty new, and then they've kind of progressed. And there's a lot of guys out there. There's a few guys out there that just in the last like 5 years, 3 or 4 or 5 years, started surfing that I know that are pretty decent for just getting into it. Early,
that's an interesting observation what you made. I've noticed that too. Like back when I started surfing, it took you 10 years to even get reasonably good, and then you were nobody unless you surfed 20 years. But I don't know if it's equipment, technology. Like I've seen some guys that started surfing and they were kind of like, okay, you could see they were beginners. 2, 3 years later, those guys are just like, hey, I'm coming down.
And I think that a lot of it is
turned into good surfers.
I mean, there's more people out there. Maybe there's more people trying surfing.
Yeah, you get better now quicker, I think, because of everything from training videos to better boards and on and on.
I mean, I give lessons. We didn't have lessons when I'm sure there was lessons,
true.
but I don't remember. My dad just pushed me into a wave and said,
Yeah.
stand up, and yelled at me. Yelled, stand up.
We did a lot of that Saturday. Stand up, yelling
Yeah.
at the kids, but
But
they did great.
but I think that also because it's surf season coming up, people are coming in and asking, what kind of board that they could go to from their longboard, right? You got people that have been surfing for a while, maybe, and they're pretty good surfers.
A bigger longboard.
Well, Yeah, that's what I say. Bigger longboard. Well, they're thinking like, everybody wants to ride a shortboard, right? Everybody wants to ride a shortboard.
I would like to be good on a shortboard.
Right. And
I
so-
don't like riding them. I would just want to be good on
That's
them.
the other thing is we're getting right now because it's getting ready to be, the surf is getting ready to be better.
Yes.
You've got people coming and going, well, I've been thinking about getting a new board. It's going to be wintertime. The surf's going to be better. But
Yeah.
and they have 2 or 3 longboards already.
Yeah.
And they're asking, like, what should I ride?
Right.
And, I always push them to a fish or an egg. And,
Austin's got to take
man,
a call.
I got to
real
call
quick.
it. Look at that.
Is David Cunningham?
David Cunningham.
Man,
like
the
that.
famous
The
David
famous
Cunningham calling in. Shaper.
Calling it on the show.
Remodeler extraordinaire David Cunningham calling
We better not take Dave's call without him knowing, though.
Put him on the mic. He's probably got some crazy stuff to
you
say.
never know what might happen.
That is so classic, man.
That's a good one.
The great David Cunningham. How about that?
We had to hit the red button on you. Sorry, bro. Anyway, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So we always kind of try to point him to a longboard or an egg if they're trying to go down from a. I mean, I'm sorry, a egg or a fish.
No, that's a good
If they're trying to
transition
go-
down because
yeah.
you still get the flotation. You still get the yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good bump down.
I would
Yeah.
say that's kind of
Yeah.
what a lot of the questions we've been having lately is at least at the shop here is what do I go from my soft top, and then what do I go from my longboard? Some guys just been riding longboards a long time because that's just what they learned on. And they just kept
Right.
riding them, and then some guys are,
But that's a fair question for you to ask someone transitioning out of a soft top. You're like, what ultimately is your goal? I mean, do you want to be a longboard? Do you want to be a shortboard? Or how do you
they want to
go?
catch air from time to time.
From time to time, we catch air.
Yeah, from time to time.
Yeah, from time to time, I go with falls too. Good
But
stuff.
yeah, don't if you tell me that when I'm building your board, it might get written.
It's
It doesn't
so
surf well.
funny. Man, hey, before I forget, dadgummit, man, I want to thank Rob Mesa from Corpus Christi, Texas, and Kira, man. They came up, and he's the head judge, 30-year experienced guy. Head judge came up, drug a big old trailer to that kids contest, and he ran that show immaculately, man. I was panicked.
did.
So was Crystal
I mean,
Ross. What do we do with these 25
He
kids?
jumped
and we have
out.
no waves, man.
Look, he jumped out. He started setting stuff up.
attacked it.
He ran out. He put the buoy out there.
Tactical attack.
Yeah, he knew exactly what to do.
He didn't panic at all of those 25 kids. We
Yeah.
were like, what do we do?
Yeah, they're great. And then they came by, and I'll tell you one thing about them. Man, they always come by here and do some shopping at the surf station.
Yeah, isn't that great, man?
yeah, they do.
And that's what you got to
Shout
do
out
when
to
you're
them.
visiting another coastal town. Pop in a local surf shop, buy local, coffee shop, surf shop. Speaking of coffee shops, Kaylin from Culture Coffee came by the kids' contest, and she always supports stuff and donates stuff, and we're really thankful for that. I got to caddy for her daughter.
Oh, nice.
Celeste,
Nice.
and I got her a second place trophy. Man, she was super
Man,
cool.
you were busy. You were out there. You had Alice out there too, right?
Dude, this whole guy was out there. I pushed Allison. I pushed
she got a second.
20
She got a
kids.
second place, and
At
yeah.
the end of the day, 4 ibuprofen, insane. But it was a blessing. I love to give back in that way. But it was so fun, and to see the little smile on her face, Kaylin's daughter.
Yeah.
It made it for me. So that was great. It was a lot
Yeah,
of
they
fun,
had
man.
those kids had a good time out there.
So thank you, Rob Mason, my brother down here in Corpus Christi, Texas, man. Pulled it off, man, and yeah, it was a good thing, man. Yeah, little Alice did good. Your little team rider, man. First time I got to see her, she's like a cool little up and coming little
Man,
gal.
she's ready. I tell you what,
her
she's-
mom and dad are super cool.
Yeah, she's ready to go, and like I said, they kind of live close to Claire or something like that. So
Yeah.
they're all from Alvin, Texas.
These
man.
parents that bring their kids down to these little surfing events are just so cool and so fun to hang around.
It's good. It's good. And I told them, I was like, I was talking to some other parents, and I was like, that one was nice and sunny, right? It was nice and it was warm and all that stuff. And I'm like, and you're going to go to these contests, and it's going to be February. It's going to be December. It's going to be cold. It's going to be raining. Somebody might have to make a little fire on the beach, and it's going to be rough conditions. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to be like, man, that was so much fun.
Yes, and
You know?
in the spirit of kids, it's like the first thing we had them all up there. I kind of said, "Look, the first lesson we're going to teach you here today is part of being a surfer. Sometimes you come to the beach and it's flat and there's no waves." And they're like, "Oh, forget about it, man. We got the soft tops. They were riding waves this big, unbelievable."
Yeah.
They said, "Forget it." It's just a great spirit of kids.
Yeah, it was good.
They found waves when there was no waves, and it was a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, a lot of those kids were new to it, and the parents were that's kind of one of the reasons I thought of it is like, man, I got a lot of those questions of what boards do these kids need, what boards. So that's kind of why we thought, man, that'd be a great thing
Yeah,
to
it
talk
sparked
about.
a lot of interest. What Austin was telling me, a lot of families came in and said, "Okay, well, what's the next step for my kid? He's really kind of liking this stuff," and I guess you just guide him through, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to find out what. Of course,
goal is or
longboard,
something.
longboard, shortboard, and I think when you're young,
Well, some of them kids aren't about this big.
right? I think and you got to think about what what the goal is, or what they're judging them on at that point. It's mostly like how long their ride is.
Right, because they're beginners.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, none of those kids aren't
Yeah.
doing lots of turns,
No.
and all that. So I think if you get them a board that they float, and they can ride a long wave.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
what I
that's
think.
that's the key thing is just and make them comfortable out there.
Right.
I told them I always to give everybody and I think this is in every division. Take advantage of how much taller the board can be. I mean, the board can be 18 inches taller than you.
Yes,
And
that's the rule.
As a rule.
Yeah, that's
I
the rule.
mean, if I decide to do any shortboard, I promise you the board's going to be 18 inches taller than me. So, I'm going to be out there on my longboard, that's for sure. But,
Oh my heavens!
we'll
Austin's
see.
making a competitive comeback this year. It's going to be great to watch.
Man,
It's gonna be
whoever's getting fourth place, look out! I'm
Yeah,
coming
that's
for
me,
you.
by the way. So you have
Watch
to
out.
arm wrestle me for that. But anyway, man, we got some fun surf on the way. But here's how I know this. I've been surfing here a long time. It ain't gonna be flat forever. There's no way. I mean, we're fixing to move into that fall movement, and then things start happening. The fetch changes. And it's just next thing you know, we're surfing, everybody's happy again, and you're planning your week around these little swells and stuff. So
Yeah, no,
I
it's
patiently await this like the tooth fairy. You know who else has patiently been waiting? In the green room, man. Our buddy.
Man, you know what? I think we're about out of time today too, man.
Matthew McConaughey,
That-
literally
I don't
in
think
from Austin, Texas.
I don't think I charged the other battery. So sorry. Hey,
Our one movie star friend, we piss him off every week.
Sorry,
All right,
Matt.
man. Peace
Maybe
out.
next
Love
time.
everybody
Have a
out
good
there.